Shalom. Shabbat shalom, Paul. See you next week.
All right.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
Yeah, really sharp picture today. What's going on? Did you get a new camera?
Good morning. Can you hear me, Bill?
Can.
Yes? Good.
If I can unmute myself, yes. Yes, we can hear you. A little boomy.
A little boomy?
A little boomy.
How about now?
Well, of course not. You're up too close to the microphone. Where's your lavalier? The sound was a little weird last night too. We need to. Between
What's that,
you,
Bill?
the last night the sound was a little bit weird between you, the rabbi, and Marcus. You and the rabbi were not hitting it last night too well. I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
What's uh-oh? And he's gone. Where did the cantor go? The disappearing cantor. Whoop, whoop.
Well, let's hope. I see here that my laptop power has been on battery all morning and I have 54% left. So let's hope that it'll last for the whole service, everybody. Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. Martin,
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
That's terrific.
Thank you.
Let's begin our service on page 288, who have a Mishkan Tefillah. As we begin our service with Motehani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shehechezarta b'nishmati b'chemla B'chemla Rabba emunatecha Rabba emunatecha Modehani lefanecha Melech chai v'kayam Shehechezarta B'nishmati b'chemla, b'chemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha. Page 219 with Ma Tovu. Ma Tovu. Ohalecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Page 291. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, Were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh kol basar umafli la'asot. Elu nishma shenatata bi tehorahi ata virata ata yitzarta ata nifshafti bi. The soul you have given me, O God, is pure. You created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as I have breath, therefore, I will give thanks to you, my God, and the God of all ages, source of all being, loving guide of every human spirit. Baruch atah Adonai asher b'yado nefesh kol chai v'ruach kol basar ish. Apologies for being a little talking thing. Someone's ringing the bell at the front door. And I don't want to leave the podium right now to answer the door because it just would seem strange, but it's easy to get distracted. We continue with Nasim B'chol Yom on page 293.
You want me to do some of that while you get the door?
Sure.
All right. Asher natan l'sekim minai levim bin yom ben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We said 293?
Yes, 293. You're on the second one.
Baruch
Okay,
atah Adonai
Ivrim.
Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir ashurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam lokach haaretz al hamayim, who stretches earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamachim et tzadikav, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish harumim, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'ayef koach, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavir shinat me'einai u'tamam ma'af apai, who removes slumber from the eyes, sleep from the eyes, and slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzelem Elohim, who made me in the image of God. You ready to go back? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben horin, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Israel b'gevurah, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Israel b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed
Thank
be
you,
God,
Bill.
our God, sovereign of the universe, who helps us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with the words of Torah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Who's at the door?
It was someone dropping somebody off, it turns out. Dropping something off. Let's continue with a little Psalm 150. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shema, te hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shema, te hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shema, te hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shema, te hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We continue with the Shema and its blessings found on page 313, and we rise. Yai da 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 yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 yai da 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 da. Baraku et Adonai Hamivorach Baruch Adonai Hamivorach Hamivorach Le'olam vahed Hamivorach Hamivorach Le'olam vahed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvarei chosha, Osei shalom uvarei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz, V'lanarima halecha berachamim, Uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom, Tamid ma'aseh bereshit, Ma'rabu ma'asach Adonai, V'lam b'chochma asita, Malah haaretz kinyanecha, Tibarach Adonai Eloheinu, Al shavach ma'aseh yadecha, Ve'al me'oreor she'asita yifa'aru chasela, Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, V'nizkechu lanu meheira le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer ha'me'orot. Page 317. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one unifier of humanity. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully, we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and the wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam vahed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'shokbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam le'ohot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam Omezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elokechem ani Adonai Elokechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'yot lechem le'elohim ani Adonai Elokechem. Page 321. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Mi kamocha b'helim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, shira chadasha, shibehu gavlim l'shimcha, osfat hayam, Yachad kulam hodu, v'kim lichu, ve'amiru, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. Su Yisrael, Kuma Bezrat Yisrael, Uftechenu Mecha Yehuda Yisrael, Go Aleinu Adonai Tzevot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Kol Yisrael. We continue with Tefillah on page 323, and we rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufiati tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor ve'Hanorah, El Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Limhan Shemo B'ahava, Melech Uzel Moshiach U'Makein, Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol Be'Rachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim Ve'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Michamocha Bo Kivurot, U'Midon Meilach, Melech Meimit, U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Neiman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol. Nekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, Kishem shemakdeshim oto bishmemorom, Kakatuv ayad neviecha, V'karazel ze ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivahot, Melech kol haaretz, Kevodo. Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Mahadir, Shimcha b'kol haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo, Echad hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachamav le'enei kol chai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Sion, Ledor vador, Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagi God lacha, U'netzach netzachim kedushatcha nakish, V'shivkacha Eloheinu mikinu lo yamush, Le'olam vahed. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Yismechu v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mikadashei shevi Shabbat kulam yisbeu veyitandu mituv ha'shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Uvashvi ratzita bo v'kidashno Shabbat chemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Zacher Lemase v'reishit Shabbat. Zacher Lemase v'reishit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Page 330. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tfilatam ba'ahava tikabel u'tila ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha Baruch atah Adonai sha'otecha levadecha be'ira na'avod. We praise you, Adonai, whom alone we serve in reverence. Page 332. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, Modim Anachnu Lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim Anachnu Lach. The joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim Anachnu Lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, Modim Anachnu Lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, Modim Anachnu Lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, Modim Anachnu Lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, Modim Anachnu Lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha u'chana'eh lechodot. Our prayer for peace on page 334. Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Hamavarech et amo Yisrael bashalom. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. We take a moment for silent meditation. Yihiu leratzon yimrei fihi v'hagion lipi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Vegoani, Vegoani. Our service continues with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, found on page 364. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udavar Adonai merushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Kadlu Adonai Hiti, Uromema Shemo, Shemo Yachdav. Lo yisagoy el goy karen, lo yomadu ol bilkama. Lo yisagoy el goy karen, lo yomadu ol bilkama. Lo yisagoy el goy karen, lo yomadu ol bilkama. Lo yisagoy el goy karen, lo yomadu ol bilkama. Lo yisagoy el goy karen. Lo yomadu od milkama, lo yisagoy el goy keret, lo yomadu od milkama. Our Torah portion from the book of Breshit, from Genesis, can be found on page 126 in the Plout Chumash, if you have that with you. It's interesting to note that in this Torah portion that I'm going to be chanting, starting with chapter 18, that in two verses, chapter 18, verse 30 and verse 32, all have the same line, Vayomer Al na yichar la Adonai, and it's talking about please let not my God, please God, not be angry. And then Abraham is going on to talk about the city of Sodom and Gomorrah and trying to have this conversation with God. If you can find 40 righteous people, 30 righteous people, maybe you can spare the people of this unlawful city. And some people talk about that this is a bargaining with God, this is a plea to God, this is a prayer to God. There are many ways we can interpret this interaction that takes place. But what I found interesting was that in two verses, it's just kind of unusual to find the same chanting that takes place the same exact cantillation in where please not be, please not my God. Don't be angry as I engage you with this possible numbers, but I'm suggesting, I'm asking, maybe you might consider not destroying the city, and I found that kind of compelling. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach, Baruch Adonai hamavarach le'olam vahed, Baruch Adonai hamavarach le'olam vahed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
Vaya'an Avraham vayomer, Hine na alti liber Adonai v'anochi afar va'efar ulai yakserun chamishim hatzadikim chamisha hatishchit b'chamisha et kol ha'ir vayomer lo ashchit Im emtsa sham arbeim v'chamisha vayosefo lidaber elav vayomar ulai yimatzeun sham arbaim vayomer lo eseh bavur ha'arbaim vayomer Al na yikar ladonai va'adabera ulai yimetzaun sham sheloshim vayomer lo eseh im emtsa sham sheloshim vayomer hinena ho'alti lidaber el Adonai ulai Imsaun sham esrim vayomer lo ashchi bavor esrim vayomer el na yichar ladonai vadabera ach hapam ulai imatsun sham asara Vayomer lo ashki bavur ha'asara vayelech Adonai ka'asher kilah lidaber el Avraham ve'Avraham shavlim komo
Shkoach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet V'chayei olam natah b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
We rise as we honor the Torah. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael api Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yadadai dai dai dai, yadadai dai yadai dai. Yada die 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 yada yada die yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die die Please be seated. Our Haftarah portion is from the book of 2 Kings, chapter 4, verses 1 through 4, I believe. The blessing before the Haftarah can be found on page 372. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzah v'direihem hanehmarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Abocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'Vinviei ha'emet v'tzedek ve'isha achat minashe b'nei hanavim saraka el Elisha le'mor Avdecha ishi mehek ve'ata yadata ki avdecha haya yarei et Adonai v'hanoshe ba lakachat et shnei yeladai Lo la'avadim vayomer elecha Elisha ma eselach hagidi li ma yesh lach babayit vatomer ein leshichatecha chol babayit ki im asuch shamen Vayomer lechi sha'ali laha kelihi min hachutz me'et kol shechenai kelim rekim otam iti uvata v'sagart hadelet ba'adech uv'ad b'nahi Vitzayat Zata all kol hakelim ha'ele v'hama alehe tasi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sur kol ha'olamim sadik b'kol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayim Shekol devarav emet batzedek all haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likushav v'limnucha lechavod u'tifaret all hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la'ach u'mevarchim otah yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Thank you for the Amen. Is that you, Martin?
Yeah, Martin.
Yes, it was.
On page 377, we have our prayer for the state of Israel. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim, yishlayu ova ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And together we say, Amen. We rise as we honor the Torah. We remain standing for the late found on page 586. Aleinu l'shabbat l'adom ha'kol l'te'ekilu l'avoseh v'rishim shelo asanu k'goyei ha'ratzo v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo samtalkinu nahem v'kol aleinu k'chol ha'onam v'na'achnu ko'anim u'mishpachim u'motim Lifnei melech mokei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Please be seated.
Ushvinatuzo.
Keep going, Bill.
V'gorei merormi. Eloheinu einod. Emed makinu efesulato. Kakatu b'torato b'yat hayom. V'yadat hayom v'shavot levavecha. Ki Adonai hu Elohi. B'shamayim mima'al. V'al ha'aretz mi'itakat einod. V'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai l'melech kol ha'aretz. Bayom hahu hi Adonai echad. U'shemo echad.
Thank you. Page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction, he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves wish to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. We are in a period of Shiva for Willie Bowman and Eileen Gail Schwartzer Thompson. We're in a period of Shloshim for Wayne Hershey, Marilyn Lassen, Richard Shorenstein Jr., and Sharon Gail Sachs Weiner. On this blessed Shabbat morning, we remember these names: Levi H. Aronson, Vera Levy Barton, Dr. Leona Bartsotsky, Marianne Winter Miller Cohn, Sam Cornsweat Jr., Jean Fendler, Nona Horowitz, Julius E. Isaacson, Henry S. Jacobs, Emily Kahn, Fred Kahn, Fred Can, pardon me, Dr. Smith, Dr. Samuel Carlin, Shirley Ladder Kaufman, Florence Strug Kerner, Beverly Marcuse Levy, Lee Barton Mueller, Marianne Coffey Prince, Harriet Stern Rosenthal, Daniel L. Scharf, Isaac D. Scharf, Harold Smith, William Stein, Jr. Are there any other names we may add to our yard site list? We continue on page 598 for our mourner's Kaddish, and we rise. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yamad v'rach erutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachonu v'yomechonu v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael, agalau v'zman tari v'emru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu, la'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata, Damiram be'alma v'yemru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim, aleinu ve'akol Yisrael v'yemru, amen. Osei shalom b'mrumav, huya asei shalom, aleinu ve'akol Yisrael v'yemru, amen. V'yemru, 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 amen. V'yemru, 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 amen. Please be seated. The beam of flowers for this Shabbat, if you could see them, were donated in the memory of Sam Hornsweat Jr. by Avery and Jay Hornsweat. May his memory always be a blessing.
A lot of very familiar names in that list. I said to Barbara Greenberg last night, whose mother and sister are there. The longer we live, the more people we know on that list. It gets a little bit disturbing after a while. It's quite an impressive list this week.
It is. It's a very impressive list. Rabbi will be doing a class, an intro to Judaism class tomorrow, starting at 12:30. He will be doing his Thursday lunch and a Wednesday night program. Just to give you, in December, I will be doing a program, I believe on the December 8th and December 15th. I know that's like 8 weeks from now. Wait a minute. Yeah, maybe 7 weeks. But I'm going to be doing a program, a two program highlighting the Israeli folk song and talking about some of the connections to their composers. So
that's the Wednesday Night Live.
Pardon me, Bill?
That's the Wednesday Night Live.
Right.
The first two Wednesdays in December. Just as part of the ongoing Wednesday night thing.
I believe the 8th and the 15th.
We've been having a very good time talking about God. At least the rabbi and I have. Everybody else has been kind of quiet.
Well, for the 8th and 15th, no one else is going to be talking but me. But not necessarily so, but I'll be doing a lot of singing and talking about some of the Jewish and Israeli composers of some folk songs that we know very well, and maybe a few folk songs that you had not heard of before. Maybe some that maybe even Bill Hess hadn't even heard before. So that's possible, right, Bill?
Of that, there are many.
Okay. All right. Join me with Oseh Shalom Bimrumah, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'yemru, Yemru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'akol Yisrael, Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'ako Yisrael. Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'ako Yisrael. Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'ako Yisrael. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lidhodotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lidhodotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim va'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lidhodotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lidhodotam berit olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafen. Amen. Well, for those online, here on Facebook or on YouTube or on the Temple Sinai link, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom and a lovely weekend. Shabbat Shalom.
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 Toda Rabbah. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Always fun davening with you, Cantor.
Thank you, Bill. Shabbat Shalom, Janice, Peter, Elizabeth.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Janice, you're very quiet today.
Who's very quiet?
Janice. Janice is very quiet today. I don't know why.
All right. Bill, why don't we just talk on Facebook? Can you call me on Facebook Live?
Yeah. Or on FaceTime, either one.
Give me 5 minutes and then
Can you hear me?
Yes.
and we
Yes,
can go-
Elizabeth, we can.
and we
And
can talk.
Janice.
What, Janice?
Bill,
Yes.
can you hear me? I've been having a lot of trouble with my mic that interrupts things when I speak. Can you hear me now?
In sort of.
I've been
it's
having a
garbled.
lot of trouble with my mic. Yeah, that's why I'm not speaking. I'm having a lot of trouble
I
with
know,
my
okay,
mic.
I know, I can figure that out.
Now it's better.
Yeah, maybe it's better when you're closer. But anyway, all right, Shabbat Shalom,
But it's
everybody.
not good. It's a stand-up desk, but Shabbat Shalom.
You may want to start, want to restart your modem because you're very steppy. The picture's very steppy too.
And you might want to relocate the modem. Maybe her because she's had this problem before.
Right.
Her modem may not be reaching it, or she may need to have something to boost it because it keeps saying that her bandwidth is low. And I know I had that same problem, and I moved my modem, and it really helped.
Yes, you're very clear today. You're back in order. Right? Yeah,
Yes.
now Janice
Yeah.
is frozen. There you
It
go.
keeps
Yes, she
freezing.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see that?
yeah, you keep freezing. Anyway, all right. Well,
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you Wednesday.
Shabbat Shalom.